Hi everyone, Mark here from Rosie Outdoors. Lovely spring day. It's coming towards the end of March here in the UK. It's nice and sunny, nice and quiet. I'm out in my garden today. So in this video I'm going to try a few tarp setups. I'm using a 3x3 metre tarp, square tarp, and the only criteria for these setups really is that I'm not going to use any trees, so I'm going to use trekking poles. And as some of you know, I'm quite tall, so they've got to be big enough to fit my 6'4" body in. So let's see how we get on. So this is the classic tarp tent I know you see a lot of on the internet. If you do a search for tarp tent, this is pretty much what you'll get. So I've done it slightly, I've done two variations on the sort of more common way of doing it. So normally this pole in the middle was a bit further in, so I've got it right at the very end. Normally people put it about here somewhere, and then they bring the point down and down that way, so you have a bit of a porch here. So I haven't got that, I've got the post at the end. So the difference with doing that, I think the advantage to me of doing that is, if you think about my criteria, I think it means you can use this piece, this section here, to get a bit more length to the overall tent, overall shelter. So when you do the sort of classic one where you put that further back, you obviously lose a bit of length here, and then what people tend to do, they tend to take this flap and turn it back and then tie it down on one of these pegs here. So this way I've got a little bit more length there. So obviously I've done that both sides. There's the other side there. So yeah, a bit more length. You've still got a sort of porch area here. So the other variation that I've done, so all the rest of it is the same pretty much as what you'd do, what people normally do for this kind of setup. The other slight variation I've done, because I'm tall when I'm set up, is people quite often tie up one of the attachment points. They tie it up to a pole or something, or a tree or something, and go off over that way. So I've obviously got I'm not using trees, so I've got my trekking pole there. So I've tied one up there. What I've also done is tied another one to the same pole. So the idea of this, of having two, is obviously it gives a little bit more. I'm in the shadow now. Let me go on the other side. That's the trouble today. It's lovely and sunny, but the sun's low in the sky. So yeah, so basically it just gives a bit more height going in that way. I think if I was doing this for real and I was going to sleep in it overnight, this trekking pole, and probably the other one as well. At the moment I've just got one line coming down. I don't know if you can see that in the sun, but I would probably put two coming off that, because it's quite high, and I think I would worry about, I mean it's pretty rigid, but, and maybe do the same on the front as well. Maybe just put two coming out of there and going down. But I think it's okay. In terms of getting my enormous body in there, if we just have a quick look inside. So this stick here is the same height as me, same length as me, 6'4". So my feet are there, I guess, and there's height there, so you can see I could definitely get my big feet in there, which somebody said were like skis, which is very kind. So yeah, they'll fit my ski feet in there, and my head is still away from the, if it was raining or something, I'd still be fine. I mean, the good thing about this setup is it's incredibly roomy. It's quite high in the middle, obviously not so much on the sides, but it's a tent, it's got to run off the water. But yeah, lots of room in there. So yeah, so this one definitely works in that it's nice and long space, lots of space, and it's only using two trekking poles. So that's that one. So this one, on the face of it, similar sort of configuration, I guess, similar sort of shape. if I take you around to the front, you'll see what the big difference is. So if you look at the shape at the front, it's got a square top. So the way that's done is I'm using both of the trekking poles inside here. There's one there, there's one there. So they're just sat inside. I've used the third pole here, so it's not using a tree, so I think that still counts. So yeah, and this third pole is got guys to two sides at about 45 degrees. So what that's doing, as you can see, is that's holding up this bit here, which would obviously flop down if you didn't have that. Other than that, just pegged round, taking a sort of corner across there. Nothing here, although you could do it, I guess, but actually I don't know how well that shows, but actually I think that's really quite high. Very wide as with the other one they did, the tarp tent. Right, so on the sides here, because of the way the front is held up, there's a bit here which is very messy, it's just baggy. So at the moment that's just got a peg in there. Where's my finger? There you are. So it is possible to guide that out so that lifts that up. So I'll just do that now and I'll bring you back when I've done it. Okay, so that's guyed out, so that looks a lot better. Opens it up a bit. Obviously what it does do is open up the inside of the tent more, so you know, you're slightly more exposed, I guess, but I mean a lot of people like to if you're camping with a tarp, you're not looking to be totally closed in, are you? So I'll leave that side open and this side down so we can see what it looks like inside with both configurations. So let's go and have a look inside. So inside it's actually again quite roomy. Here's my stick that looks like me, except I'm not quite as skinny as that. So yeah, my feet are down there, I guess. If that's my head is still, well, I've got to be a couple of foot in from the exposed opening, so that's absolutely fine. You've got so if that's my head there, and so that would be more of my sleeping stuff, is you've still got a really decent sized porch there. A bit more flappy on this one, of course. So to me, the big advantage of this one, I guess, is it's higher at the back, I think. So where your feet are, it's not going in. It also feels a lot higher in here as well when you're sat up. I think that's because the trekking poles on either side of me here are a nice height. I mean, these are actually set a lot lower than I had them set on the normal tarp tent, because they have to be, I think, in this configuration. It won't work otherwise. But it doesn't feel, I think because of the way this is, it actually feels really roomy. So from that point of view, it's really good. So the two different ways of doing the side. So that's the side with the guy rope on it, and then there's my feet, and there's the other side with the peg. So obviously the peg, you know, you're more enclosed here, but I don't know. I think I prefer it raised up, because in reality you're not going to be sat. Your head's not going to be over there. It's going to be much closer in the middle. So I don't know. 6 of one, half as the other, really. So there's a couple of big issues with this. I mean, I really like the height, and it feels more spacious in some ways than the other one, even though it's not as big inside. But I think the deal breaker is these poles, because, well, two things really, I guess. One is and they're related things. One is you have to sleep. You're going to have to sleep here because there's no room unless you're very, very short. I guess, I don't know, I guess you might be able to sleep along there, especially if you didn't have this raised up. You might be able to. Along that side, yeah, you might be able to, I guess. But for me, because I'm tall, I would be sleeping right down the middle, which would be the nicest place to sleep. But I'd be sleeping between these two poles. And you know, you only need to turn over in the night or flail out having some weird dream or something, and you'd knock them over, wouldn't you? And then you'd have tarp on your head. That could be pretty unpleasant, especially if it's raining or something. So when I was putting this up, they kept falling over. I mean, I know they do anyway when you're putting stuff up, but even when it was up, they kept falling over. So what I've done to help with that is adjusted them once they're in, just push them up as tightly as I possibly can, so right up against the top. Which, by the way, that's another thing. Obviously, these are just randomly placed on the top. They're not at one of the strengthened points, so you'd have to put something there, sock or something, I don't know, to stop it from pushing too hard on the actual tarp, I guess. The other thing I've done is I've taken off the, I don't know if you can probably see better on this one. So these trekking poles, as you know, you normally have all sorts of different feet, optional feet ends on them. So what I've done with these ones is I've taken those off and I've shoved the very pointy bit into the ground. So actually, you know what, that isn't actually going to go anywhere. Again, with that, obviously, if you were wanting to cover the whole of the ground with some sort of protective tarp or ground sheet type thing, then you wouldn't be able to there. I don't know, I mean, as I say, when they're shoved in the ground, they feel pretty good. I think they'd still slip at the top though, that's my only issue. You could maybe tie a stick across here if you lashed it both sides. It's some good Boy Scout knots. Obviously that would lower the height a little bit, which would defeat the object, but yeah. So really, apart from that, I love it. I actually prefer it to the other setup that I did earlier, the standard tarp tent, but I'm just really worried about those poles. So there you go. That's the 2-pole one. I don't know what this one's called. I'm sure it's got a name. They've all got a name. If it's not, I've just invented it. So by the way, just in case you're wondering what some of these strange grey poles are that are getting in the way of the tent, it's because they're actually I've got one of those. This is my garden, as I said. Look, swimming pool. How about that? It's almost like summer. And this thing here is a gazebo thing, which at the moment is looking like a skeleton of a gazebo because it hasn't got any cloth on it because we take it down. But yeah, so I've squashed my tent in amongst it. I mean, I could actually tie. No, it's probably not a good idea. Anyway, that's like a tree, and I'm not allowed to use trees. Anyway, that's what it is. Just in case you wondered. Okay, so I think that will do for this one. Maybe do another one of these because I've got a few more possible ideas, which we'll see how they work out. So I think I'm going to just sit and enjoy the afternoon. Look at that. Oh, this weather's lovely. It's even actually quite warm now, as well as this wonderful blue sky. Okay, so hope you enjoyed that. If you did, now's the time to give it a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed to my channel and you want to see some more of what I'll do, then I'll be doing a lot more videos very soon. So please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and ding the bell if you want to get notifications when I put them out. Okay, well, have a nice week, guys. Take care. See you again soon.